This is Cherryview.
Now, is Cherryview just on that side of the street or on this side?
No, this side. Whites lived over here.
On this side
right
of Fifth
side
Street.
of the street. Just right there to that gas station.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was white. Even the home on the corner, this side of the street was white.
Oh.
The house where the what's that, Little Willie Center?
Mm-hmm.
They were white. There were 2 homes right there, 2 or 3 homes right there.
Mm-hmm.
They were white. The house right here on this corner,
Mm-hmm.
where the family lives there, the Spells,
Mm-hmm.
that was white. So the black neighborhood started on the corner of Contentment and Cherry Street,
Mm-hmm.
and back in. I grew up in Cherryview, which is right there. You see the sign right there on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It says Cherryview. That's where I grew up.
And
then it's Riverdale, and then it's Perkintown.
What's Perkintown is over there where 6th Street and
That's
all of
right.
that is. Yeah.
That's Perkintown. And then you had Epps Park.
Epps Park, and that was kind of the
Uh-huh.
newer.
That's right.
development
And then
area.
you had Lincoln Drive, or
What's
Link.
that?
That's where lives Lincoln Drive in there. Where just right up the hill from 5th,
Mhm.
6th Street on the other side of 5th Street, where the newer home for Mr. McDowell. Did you remember him?
No.
Mr. McDowell lived. Who lives there now that you would know?
It's kind of 6th Street closer to Hudson Street on that side.
Well, no, past that, Bancroft Avenue. Bancroft,
Okay.
the 6th, Bancroft Bancroft comes up
Mm-hmm.
the hill from Epps. I mean,
Mhm.
from 5th Street.
Mhm.
And when you get to that next corner, you make that right and go around in that little subdivision right there.
Oh, so I thought that was Epps Park. Okay.
No, Epps Park. Epps Park is well, Epps Park is like on this side of Bancroft. Like Bancroft's
Oh.
coming up, so Epps Park would be on this side.
Oh, so if you're coming on Line Avenue,
Mhm.
Line Avenue would divide.
That's right, or
that.
Bancroft.
So on this side of Bancroft, that would be Epps Park. But on this
Now,
side,
over there on where line, that's Bancroft. Now, when you go across the big Barber Boulevard now,
Mhm.
that would be the Line Avenue part.
Mhm.
And that was, over there was that Pecan Grove, but that's where white people stayed.
Oh, so kind of where Rose Glover and those
That's
guys
it.
are now.
That was, they were white people
And that's
stayed there.
Pecan Grove.
That was Pecan Grove.
Oh.
And then, okay, around the Community Crossroads, Agnes Fully Love School,
Mm-hmm.
whites were there.
Okay.
See, and we were in Epps Park near where Phillip Brothers Funeral Home is. See, that's where Phillip on the corner. Anderson Phillip.
So that's a church now.
No, it's a funeral home across from Sadie's Altar.
Oh, over there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that was Epps Park too.
That could have been, but then that was Higgs. You know, the Higgs
neighborhood, yeah.
subdivision.
So they still call that Higgs now.
Well, that's what I saw,
Mhm.
but it's I saw that sign, but I don't know if it's in the right place.
Gotcha. It makes sense.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Because New Higgs Street was behind Fleming Street School, which is now St. Salter. New Higgs Street was a little street back up in there.
Oh, so if it was, unless it's that big, if it is
Mhm.
wrong, Higgs development would have been a little closer to
To the St. Salter,
Yeah, on
back
that
over
side.
in there.
Okay.
See, it was white. All that was white from down there where the church is, right under the railroad, right under the crossing, that church, all the way back to the Barber School.
Right there where Dickinson Avenue and 14th
All of
Street
that.
is.
That was white. Those were whites.
Okay.
That was a
now
white
where did
neighborhood.
blacks live then?
We lived downtown, which you know about the Sycamore Hill Project. That we lived there.
Mhm.
We lived in Cherryview.
Mhm.
We lived in Perkintown. We lived in Epps Park. We lived in Riverdale. and we lived in Newtown, which is where Garrison Evan Lumber Company is now, and then we lived over the hill, which is where Old Sylvia Chapel, where English Chapel is now.
On the corner of Evans and
Decker, all over, well,
like
that,
that.
whatever. That's where we lived.
Okay, and obviously the city was a smaller city, so
Yeah, smaller city. Deck Street was the last street. Deck Street.
Wow.
That was the last street when I was a little girl. When I was a teenager. When I went away to college, let's say. Greenville has been a city that has not held on to its culture, and has, because of people have been divided, you move out. Realtors, I'll say, have come in. For instance, when the Sycamore Hill, let's say 1967, 68, 50 years ago, when the city decided that it needed a town common, so we're going to go to that, start down there, we're going to go down there. When the city decided that it needed a town common, and it's much more complicated than what I'm saying,
Of course.
but it was a way when you begin to move people, real estate agents and got into it, and and so you develop other neighborhoods, and so by that time, we were coming along with a little integration, and we had the March on Washington, and you had Rosa Parks, and the bus desegregation of bus lines and all of that. So then the real estate agents got into it. It was very advantageous time for that to happen. And so as you move people, and so when you decide that people who are going to leave the Sycamore Hill area, downtown area, we call it downtown, when they leave that area, then they're going to need somewhere to go. Those people who owned homes were able to buy homes in the 3rd Street School area where whites had previously lived. And then the whites move out to other neighborhoods.
Which was kind of the Skinnerville.
Skinnerville's down down in there. That's Skinnersville.
Okay.
That's where that was. That was a neighborhood. Yeah, down there. And so what I'm saying, and so other neighborhoods developed with the moving of those persons from downtown. Those persons who could not afford a home or did not already own a home moved over to what is called Kearney Park. That was the housing project that was developed so these people would have a decent place to live.
So Kearney Park was even before Moywood.
Yeah, oh yeah. Kearney Park was before Moywood. Now, let's say there's substandard housing in the Newtown near the Garris Evan Lumber Company, in that area. Let's say it's substandard there. So they need a place to go. So then that's when Moywood came. That was an area to be developed. But there were single family homes. If you've ever been in Moywood, there was some very nice single family homes there that blacks did not live in at that time. But I'm sure it became advantageous to sell to some of them that could afford. It became an upscale type place for blacks to go. But the projects still were located over there. That became Moywood. So that's how that happened. And when they tore down the housing areas that were substandard in that area of the old Cornerstone Baptist Church, which was right on that railroad track over there, when they tore those houses down, then they built other projects back. And so you had the Newtown projects in Newtown.
Cornerstone, sat somewhere close to where that embroidery shop is?
Yeah, behind Parrot Canvas. Behind Parrot Canvas on the railroad track on the other corner.
That was Cornerstone.
That was Cornerstone.
So whatever houses were over there with what Newtown Projects is now, they tore that down and then built. So Newtown was maybe around the 3rd.
That was about the 3rd
one. All right.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But we've been, our neighborhoods, it's all in the name of progress, I guess. But then of course, you had the integration of the schools. And then we had all the federal housing laws. You know, you can buy a house anywhere in Greenville you want to buy one, and that's what we've done. We're everywhere now. So with that kind of planned, I don't even know what to call it. You've had the neighborhoods, the names have gone away, and the people have died away. For instance, right here in Cherryview, Miss Alily McLaughlin, she was the mother of our Commissioner Melvin McLaughlin. She's one of the last there. Right now, there's Mr. Warren Outerbridge, who's there, and he's on the corner of Contentia and Imperial Street. Still there. And then on the corner of Douglas and Contentia is Mrs. Julia Teal, who just turned 100 years old on May the 1st. Now, they're some of the last people in that neighborhood. You just have so few that I can tell you about. And I'm 72 years old, so, you know, I'm getting on up there too. But at least I lived there. I know, you know, what's there and who was there. And I cannot now go back in the neighborhood and find people that I know, because most of them are gone.
So we have Miss Teal,
Mrs. Julia Teal.
Still in our neighborhood.
She's on the corner of Contentia and Douglas, 801 Douglas Avenue.
And she's been there
forever. At least, look, she's been there. Her family has been there at least 72 plus years, because I'm 72 years old.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Warren Outerbridge, his family, he grew up on Roosevelt Avenue. And he married Miss Billy Chase, and they live on the corner of Imperial and Contentia, and he's still alive. She passed away in November 2016. But these are people that I know. Miss Alily McLaughlin was funeralized in October 2017. She was one of the last few people that are still in the neighborhood, that's been in the neighborhood forever.
Oh yeah.
So with people dying and you know, they're no longer there. The families are spread all over Greenville and out of town and other places. With that happening, you lose that core, as you talked about. Most people in Greenville did not have. There were teachers, and there were just a few nurses. You could almost count them on one hand. And you had a couple of 2 or 3 doctors and a dentist or whatever. But most of our people in Greenville worked for prominent families. Worked in service, like my mother. And so these families, you were endeared to the family, and they were endeared to you. And your lifestyle, the thing about Greenville is that your lifestyle sort of went along those lines. Because in the black community, if you happened to work for a prominent family, you were somewhat prominent yourself. I'm saying that, and that's true. And this family that you worked for enabled you to have some of the things that they had. They saw to it. Everybody was not ugly to folk and all that. That's and anybody who wanted to go to college, these families helped them go. That's what happened. That's how we went. We didn't have any money, so to speak. Your parents couldn't get that much of a loan, but you always had enough people pinching off a little bit and helping you along the way. And that's true. Now, I'm going to take you to another place in Greenville, North Carolina. Going down 5th Street, just before you hit the campus, is the sign. It says East Carolina University. Right there across from Sup Dogs or whatever you call it. Do you know what that used to be in Greenville?
What?
The swimming pool.
Oh.
For whites only.
Oh.
I'm sure. But I'm saying that when I was a little girl, and we would be going to Grimesland. My mother went to a church down in Grimesland, North Carolina, and we went straight down 5th Street, you know, to go out that way. I looked at people swimming in that pool. My husband lived on Reed Street. You know where the buses exchange now? The exchange. That's where he was born. But he could not go down to that swimming pool. He couldn't go to the swimming pool. Okay. I'm just telling you, this is what I know, went on in this town.
I guess there's something
And
to
he
appreciate.
really felt, now he felt, even much more than I do, he knew what it was to be excluded. You know what I mean? Because see, we were up here in Cherryview in our very nice little place.
Yeah,
I didn't feel as bad about it as he did, because he lived downtown. They were told where to walk, and like when they went to school, when they came to Epps, from way out that way, they knew where not to go, where not to walk. Like they knew how to go to school. They had a certain route.
So you didn't just walk through a neighborhood where
No, walk through downtown. They would have to go through, maybe down by the courthouse and over to by Mr. George Pugh's service station, where the new monstrosity of a high rise is right now, on that corner, and then come up Field. They had a route to come. You didn't go all downtown walking through Evans and Fifth way down that way. You had to come up Third and up Fourth and come over. See, he really felt it, which I didn't feel it like that, because we were just right here going up Fifth. So but that used to be, that was swimming pool right there. And right now, the dirt in it, as I look at that dirt, I see a sink. They can't fill it up.
Yeah.